I would like to explain about certain assets per heart, or we can find at Bursa Malaysia Market SOES 513. Certain assets per heart is an investment holding company, the provision of management service of the subsidiary companies that consists audio, chemical, plantation and mining, and healthcare. Their main activities is manufacturing and marketing of fatty acid and glycerin. There are three competitive for certain asset per heart, which is KMK Audio, FGV Holding, and AMM Plus. KMK Audio is a global audio chemical producer. FGV Holding is a Malaysia-based agribusiness, and AMM Plus is a market lending supplier and system integrator. For the strength of SOUS is a cash and asset-rich company and well established with positive cash flows. Their weakness is management is comfortable, earning growth is relatively subtle. Their opportunity is unlocking value via development, and lastly is consolidation of industries. Next, we move to the fundamental analysis. First of all, that we see at net income. Based on the graph, we can see that the revenue dip high but not consistent, increased from 2017 to 2018, decreased 2018 to 2018, then decreased from 2019 to 2020. Although revenue decreased, the gross profit increased, which means that company managed to make profit after deduction of operating and associated costs. Net income, we can see that fluctuated, decreased from 2020 to 2019, but increased in 2020. Good performance as net income increased until the break point. For the total asset, you can see for the SOUS company, total asset increased in 2018 and 2019, then slightly decreased in 2020. There are increment in total asset in the 4 years because of increasing of cash and deposit as well as note and account receivable. For the total liabilities, we can see based on pie chart, total liabilities decreased in 2018 and 2019, but increased in 2020. The company managed to decrease their liability, but increased due to COVID-19. For the total equity, you can see that SOUS slightly increased from 2017 to 2020. It can be positive or negative. Positive means that company enough asset to cover their liabilities, but negative means liabilities exceed assets. For the liquidity ratio SOUS company, you can see that the ratio with the indication of short-term liquidity position and measure the willingness to satisfy short-term liabilities from the most liquid asset. Based on the graph, you can see that company is higher than industry. This means companies still can pay back their liability without selling their fixed asset. For the current ratio, it measures company's ability to pay short-term obligation. You can see company is higher than industry. It means company do not need to worry to pay back their current debt. For the activity ratio, we see for the asset turnover and receivable turnover. Asset turnover means that we can measure the ability of the firm to generate sale. The higher the better the financial condition to generate higher revenue. We can see based on the graph, company has higher asset turnover than industry. So it means that SOES did manage to get revenue. For the receivable turnover, it means that used to qualify in collecting its receivable. Company has higher ratio than industry. It means that SOUS company really good at managing their account receivable. For the management effectiveness, used for shareholder equity and company asset to produce an acceptable rate of return. ROE we use to measure financial performance by dividing net income by shareholders' equity. Based on the graph, we can see that industry has better performance than SOUS. It means that SOUS not strong in measure of their profitability. For the ROA, we use to how profitable the asset generate revenue. Industry has higher ratio than SOUS company. It means that ROA still manage to earn profit even. For the last, we discuss about technical analysis for SOUS company. First, support and resistance. Power of demand and supply need. Support is to prevent the stock from falling any further. Resistance used to prevent the stock from moving higher. As value move, but the degree of support or resistance, demand and supply are tough to have shifted, making the penetrate level opposite to its job. For the MACD, relationship between the moving average of stock market. Price drop signal that it could be time to sell. Investors tend to purchase the stock of. For the relative strength index, or we call RSI, good ratio to determine over purchase. SOUS have shown a fluctuated RSI from May until December 2020. The RSI will increase as the number and size of the positive close increase and vice versa. And the last for the moving area smooth market data to form the next trend predictor. SOUS revealed a growing movement from November to December, uptrend shift and a short term super. Moving average is above a longer time average. Investor tend to buy the stock.
Industry analysis consists of three parts, namely growth cycle, competition, and SWOT analysis. Batu Kawan is an investment holding company involved in chemical manufacturing, transportation, real estate, investment holding, and plantation operating through four segments, namely plantation, manufacturing, real estate development, and investment holding. They are three competitors of Batu Kawan, namely Initi Corporation, Tenaga Nasional, and Sam Darby. Companies in this industry take equity positions in target companies, usually having control interest. Last one is SWOT analysis, consists of strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. The strength of Batu Kawan are wide distribution as their products are needed in market and have a good value with adequate balance. However, there are too many competitors in Malaysia that can compete with Batu Kawan. The benefit for investment firms is target of revenue, which is 40% of them are interest and dividend. However, the trade is in competitive landscape as probability it depends on the ability targets for investment.
Fundamental analysis, so you can see that net income for this company, annual revenue high but not consistent, and the total revenue decreased from 2018 to 2020, and then the gross profit will increase from 2019 to 2020. So that company was able to make more profit, and the company managed to reduce its operation costs. So the net income fluctuated graph as net income 2017 2019, then increased 2020. Okay, so for total asset for this company is decreased from 2017 to 2018. So all assets or valuable are owned by a small business. So the total asset increased in 2019 and 2020. So the total asset increased over the last 4 years. Increase in cash, deposit notes, and account received. Okay, next is about total liability. Liability is combined debt and obligation that an individual or a company owe to the third party. So the total liability decreased from 2017 to 2018. So you can see that from the chart pie chart. So good for company is to reduce liability. So increase in 2019 and 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic. So the company may increase in fourth quarter of 2020 due to the pandemic. Okay, this slide is about total equity. What is total equity? Total equity is the value left after taking all liabilities, which is common stock and preferred share. So from 2017 to 2020, total equity slightly increased, and it is maybe positive or negative value. So for positive value, it means that it is enough asset to cover debt, while the negative value is that the debt is exceed asset. Okay, liquidity ratio. Liquidity ratio is to determine the ability to pay off current debt without raising external capital. Quick ratio indication of liquidity position and willingness to meet its short-term liability from the most liquid asset. So industry ratio is higher than company. So the company can still repay its liability without selling its fixed asset. So and then the coverage ratio is ability of a company to pay short-term obligation. So industry ratio is higher than company, so it is not good for investor, which is the company unable to pay back its current liability. Equity ratio is about asset turnover and receivable turnover. Asset turnover is to measure the company's ability to use its asset effectively to generate sales. The higher the asset turnover, the better the company's financial conditions. So the industry has a lower asset turnover. So the receivable turnover is quantified the effectiveness is in collecting its receivable or money. So you can see that the company has higher receivable turnover than the industry. So the company good at managing its receivable account. On to the management effectiveness. Management effectiveness is shareholder equity and a company asset to produce an acceptable rate of return. So ROE is a financial performance, which is net income divided by equity. The company has a better performance. It is not in terms of profitability, but managed to make ROE higher than industry. So the ROA is how profitable the asset of the company generate the revenue. Industry has a better performance than company, so the higher ROA better because earn more money on less investment.
Technical analysis discuss four things, namely support and resistance, moving area, MACD, and RSI. Support and resistance is the main focus when demand and supply meet. Moving area chart show rising price of securities and investors tend to buy the stock. MACD chart give signals of the purchase or sale in inventory, and since it is below the signal line, the price drops, then it is time to sell. Also, for the RSI chart, the company shows volatility from November to December.
Inflation rate is percent change in the price from one year to another year. In 2020, the average inflation rate in Malaysia is negative 1.13%, and for 2021 is forecasted to 2.24%. Inflation is viewed as a positive because it helps boost consumer consumption and demand, increase the burden of debt as inflation goes some way to offsetting interest rate. Moderate inflation enable adjustment of wage and relative price. It can boost growth. Inflation is better than deflation for a company. Johor Tim Berhad. So now we go to industry analysis for Johor Tim Berhad. Johor Tim Berhad is an investment holding company engaged in the manufactures of various tin can and other container in Malaysia and Indonesia. Its products include liquid tin, edible oil, and chemical cans, sweetened condensed milk, and evaporated milk can, pineapple can, and processed food can. The Johor Tim Berhad group of company comprises of 5 subsidiaries. Their executive leadership includes Sri Wang Goh as Chief Executive Officer and Director, Kamaluddin bin Yusuf as a Senior Independent Non-Executive Chairman. 3 top competitors to Johor Tim Berhad. The first one is Can One Berhad, the second one is Can Factory Berhad, and the last one is Etika International Holdings. We go to short analysis of Johor Tim Berhad. For the trend, they receive a lot of attention from a substantial price movement on KLSE over the last few months. It is increasing from 1.2 RM 1.60 and dropping as low as RM 1.29. The weakness is there are too many competitors. The opportunity is stock is less volatile than the wider market given its low beta, and for the trick, they use that in its business.
My name is Hosna Azam Abdul Hadi. My metric number 2555949. Today I want to talk about fundamental analysis, which is firstly for net income. The annual revenues are high. The total revenues increased from 2016 to 2020. The gross profit was decreased from 2016 to 2018. The net income shows the decrease from 2016 to 2018 and increase in 2019. For total asset, the total asset decreased from year 2016 to 2017 and increased in 2018 to 2019. The total asset increased over the last 2 years, and the increase in cash deposit and notes and account receivable. For the total liability decreased from 2016 to 2017. It is good for a company to reduce liability, and there are increase in 2018 until 2019. The company may have increased in fourth quarter in 2020 due to the COVID pandemic. For total equity from 2016 to 2019, the total equity shows a slightly increase, which may be positive or negative. The positive is which is enough for asset to cover the debt. In negative value is the debt exceed the asset. For liquidity ratios, there are 2, which is quick ratios and current ratios. Quick ratio indication for liquidity position and willingness to meet in short-term liabilities and most liquid asset. Industry which ratio is higher than company can still repay its liability without selling its fixed asset. Current ratio is ability to company to pay short-term obligation. Industry ratio is higher than company. It is not good for investor, which is company unable to pay back its current liability. For activity ratios, there is asset turnover, which measures the company ability to use the asset effectively to generate sales. The higher the asset turnover, the better the company financial condition. Industry has lower asset turnover. Receivable turnover is quantify the effectiveness in collecting the receivable money. Company has higher receivable turnover, which is company has a good managing its receivable. For management effectiveness, ROE, which is financial performance. The company has a better performance. It is not strong in terms of profitability, but managed to make ROE higher than industry. ROA, how profitable the asset of the company generates revenue. Industry has better performance, higher ROA, better because earns more money than less investment. Next is for technical analysis, which is firstly MACD, which is indicates the signal of the purchase. MACD falls below the signals of the line, which is price drop and it's time to sell. Next is RSI. RSI indicates the signal of purchase. RSI will increase the number and size of the positive close increase and vice versa. Next is moving area, which the graph shows the rising of price of the security. The investors tend to buy the stock that shows uptrend shift and shorter terms. Simple moving average is above the longer term average. Support and resistance. A principle is that simple but difficult to learn, and it is stand out in the most used technique in technical research. The support is the level it requires sufficiency capable to prevent the stock from continuing to fall. Resistance is the level that which of supply insufficient capable to prevent the increase of the stock. This dimension flip position between support and opposition, which where they reach the market trades in reversal, bounties and breakout used to determine.
Employment rate for every year in Malaysia. In 2020, we can see the unemployment rate was increasing than the previous year. This is because of the COVID-19 pandemic has forced many companies from many sectors have to stop their operation or have to lay off their workers due to the unaffordable to pay their salary.
Orna Papers Berhad started their business in October 1990. Their main product is corrugated boxes, and it has subsidiaries. This is the example of company that can compete with Orna Papers Berhad. The strength of Orna Papers Berhad is wide distribution, while weakness is that the company has too many competitors, while the opportunities that the Orna Papers is expansion to other markets. The trend is fluctuation in foreign exchange market. We can see that the total asset of Orna Papers is increasing throughout the years. The total equity of Orna Papers Berhad is also increased throughout the years.
My name is Atika Mitida, metric number 264451. I will explain about the fundamental analysis of Orna Paper Berhad. First, the net income of the company. The net income in 2020 showed a decreasing from 2019 more than 8 million ringgit. Second is the liability of the company. The liability was increasing more than 10% from the previous year. The liquidity ratio of the company showed a good performance because both their quick and current ratio are more than 1. And their current ratio are higher than the industry, which means they have the ability to pay off their current debt obligation without raising the external capital. The company management effectiveness also show a good performance because their ROA and ROE show that the company can earn more money on the less investment.
The asset turnover in industry is higher than the asset turnover in company.
For the technical analysis of the Orna Paper Berhad, we can see the MACD was increasing above the single line, then the RSI was fluctuating from May 2020 until December 2020 and buy at value 63.354. The moving area of the company was growing movement from the November 9 to December 29. This means the investor tend to buy the stock of the Orna Paper Berhad.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Nur Amira binti Muhammad Sabri. My metric number is 255950. So I will continue with the next company, which is Ken1 Berhad. It is incorporated on 7 January 2004. Ken1 Berhad was listed on the main board of Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad on 29 July 2005. For the industry analysis, there are 3 points here, which are competitor position industry, Johor Tin Berhad, Kian Jukan Factory Berhad, Etika International Holdings Ltd. Next is growth cycle of company and SWOT analysis. The first point for fundamental analysis is net income. From the graph, we can see that the net income is inconsistent every year. However, this company managed to show a good performance in 2019 after facing a loss in 2018. Next, total assets. From the graph, it shows that on 2019, this company had a higher percentage compared to the other years. Total liabilities are the combine of debts and obligations. In 2019, company kept increasing their liability as much as 2109.3 million compared to 766.9 million in 2018. For the total equity, the equity can be either negative or positive. If positive, the company has enough assets to cover its liabilities. However, if negative, this means that the company liabilities had exceeds its assets.
I am Shahir Hafiz. We will continue for liquidity ratio. The higher rapid ratios are more beneficial to companies because they indicate that more existing assets than current liabilities are available. For activity ratio, this company not good at managing their account receivable as they take much more days to collect that from their customer. The company is able to earn money on its investment, but not as well as the market since the higher return on asset is better. For technical analysis, MACD is used to indicate or give signals to buy or sell stock. Next, RSI is an indicator to measure the magnitude of recent price changes to evaluate overbought or oversold the price of a stock or other assets. According to the chart of Ken1 Berhad, the trend has been moving lower since end of May and increased in July. As part of the analysis of chart patterns, these terms are used by traders to refer to market levels on charts that seem to serve as barrier, preventing the price of an asset from shifting in a certain direction.